I am your host, Kimberly Barrett. Welcome to the Sharing Love and Light Show, Vibration and Consciousness on the Planet. I am a psychic medium, quantum energy healer, and intuitive coach here to help you experience light and love. On this show, I will help you tap into your personal power and shift your energy so you can step into your life's purpose and manifest your dreams. I believe that love is not a verb, it is a state of being. Stay with me for the next hour and unlock the quantum energy gifts that are already in you. You're listening to the Sharing Love and Light Show starting. Hi. Hello, beautiful lights. My name is Kimberly Barrett. I am so grateful to be your host today on Sharing Love and Light, Vibration and Consciousness on the Planet. I am currently on the air and on Facebook Live on the first and third Thursdays of the month on Transformation Talk Radio, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So come check it out. Welcome to all of you beautiful, beautiful lights who are out there listening to me right now. If you're watching this on Facebook Live or on the replay on the YouTube, please feel free to type in a little comment. Let me know you were here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. In case you do not know me, my name is Kimberly Barrett. I am a psychic. And I know that we did this introduction ahead of time, but I wanted to let you know I am a psychic, a medium, an intuitive coach, a quantum energy healer. I am here because I just wanted to step out and share love and light out with the world. And so hopefully I can share some love and light with you this evening. When I do a solo show, I ask my guides, what's the topic? And the answer I received for this particular episode is manifestation. So at some point in our talk this evening, I will be opening the phone lines during the third and fourth segment so that I can take questions from my callers and my listeners. If you decide you want to call in, we will open the phone lines up on the third and fourth segment, maybe even at the end of the second segment so that you can get ready and call in. So let's get to this topic. I am so excited to talk about this. I was like, seriously, you guys want me to talk about manifestation? And then I started thinking about my experience, strength, and hope with discovering the power that we have within us to actually create the lives that we want. And it gives me gratitude whenever I look back on certain things. So manifesting is basically making things become real to us. And I've been talking a lot on this show. I looked up the definition of manifest because that's how I roll. I looked up the definition of manifest. And what it said were things like, making it appear real, showing evidence that's actually present now, that we can see it, and there's proof that it's there, sort of thing. And so with manifesting, I want to see that actually unfold in my life. And in many ways, many of us want to see the physical manifestation. I've also experienced manifesting how you want your life to feel, and manifesting, sort of like how you want friendships to go, and just different things in your life to be. So I've taken manifestation way past just manifesting physical objects, which I can do, and I'll talk about that later. But to really start to manifest the life of your dreams isn't always physical stuff, I manifested my blue car that I currently own. It's also manifesting. I think I've shared this before, that I wake up every morning intending to have love-filled days. And I use manifestation techniques to bring that about. And part of manifesting that we're going to talk about is when you ask for it, you also need to become open to it and look for it. So some of you might be listening and going, what in the world is she talking about? So I'm going to break down a few things. And I did ask my guides to channel in some things for people that listen. I do have some people out there that came from my Facebook Love Thank you so much for coming over here and listening to me on the Sharing Love and Light show now. I did used to do Facebook Lives every single day, and I called it Facebook Love. One of the things I manifested, by the way. So back to that topic of manifestation. First, I want you to understand my understanding, and also a lot of the teachers that have taught me how to manifest, the understanding of reality itself. That the belief is we are energy. We are energy beings. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And if we're energy beings, then, we are working within what I've talked about before on my podcast radio show, Sharing Love and Light, is, everything that we're experiencing has a vibration and a frequency. And you're welcome to go back and listen to that on my host page on Transformation Talk Radio. Just look up the host, Kimberly Barrett, and all of my back episodes are on there. So if you do want more information on vibration and frequency, you can go and listen to that. What we're talking about tonight is manifesting. And so basically, and I'll give you, they're like, give them an example of your experience, is I started out life where I was really living in a world that felt like unsafe to me. And I was really what I consider now attracting a lot of like negative experiences and negative things. And I was having a really hard time in life. And then I discovered this new friend that I had made, and her name was Paula. And she had this life that I wanted, one of those people that are really energetic, happy the majority of the time. No matter what happened, she could really go with the flow. She lived a life of just light and love. She pretty much brought in whatever it is she wanted in life. She ended up having a child and a husband and a job that she was helping people. And she had this like really energy about her when I was around her that was just so peaceful and loving all the time. I wanted what she had. I didn't know if I could get there, and I wanted what she had. Part of manifesting is being in what Abraham Hicks calls your contrast, right? And so that's a tough part for us as humans. There is a book that's called Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires. And I have it backwards on here if anyone can see the video. Those of you that are just listening, it is Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. It was a #1 New York Times bestselling authors. Learning to Manifest Your Desires, Ask and It Is Given. And what they talk about is in just about everything that you can learn about manifesting what you want in your life is there is the contrast that you look into, and out of that births a desire within you. And so you are now asking for what you want. Well, I had this really, really negative life, and I met this woman that had all this positivity in her life, and I wanted what she had. So my contrast was this really negative life. And then my birth, my desire, what I wanted to manifest into my life was this positive life like she was living. And I might get tearful as I talk about it, because what really happened in my life was just that. And I have my very first practice of manifestation from 26 or 27 years ago that I had written out and drawn pictures and all this stuff. The other book, I don't have it on me, is written by Shakti Gawain. Shakti Gawain. And it's called Creative Visualization. So it's called Creative Visualization. And that's the book that she actually gifted to me way back then. It had to be like 1995, 1996. She gifted this book to me. And it helped me to open my eyes. Now, at the time, I did not understand manifestation. I didn't understand energy. I didn't understand any of that. I was really like getting ready to hit my bottom, basically, in my life. And I got this book and I started reading it, and I started doing all of the practices that were in this book. Some of the practices are the things that Abraham Hicks talks about, which is you're going to ask for what you want, and that's going to be given to you. And then what you need to do is align yourself with that. Now, I did not know these things back then. And at the same time, I was desperate in a way. I was really desperate to try anything. And what I did was I actually did these practices. And they were simple practices like writing out what it is you really want. And so I wrote this story about me having a couple of cats and living in my life and going back to school and, you know, living life really well and being on airplanes and just different things like that, that I had teaching in front of, you know, different people, having classes, and then I'm teaching. And it was amazing because basically 5 years later, I was with a friend of mine and she found it and she said, Kim, all of this has come true in your life. And it was really, really, really amazing. So I highly recommend to all my listeners, if you're interested in books and you want to learn more about manifesting and really like starting to work toward a life that's so much better, start with Shakti Going Creative Visualization and Ask and It Is Giving, Learning to Manifest Your Desires by Esther and Jerry Hicks. It's the teachings of Abraham. So it is actually time to take a short break. When we return, we'll talk more about this topic of manifestation. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, my beautiful lights out there. You are listening to the Sharing Love and Light show with me, Kimberly Barrett. If you're watching this on Facebook Live or YouTube, feel free to type in a comment to let me know you were here, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Before we get back to our topic of manifestation, I want to make sure you know how to contact me. I can be reached through my website, sharingloveandlightshow.com. If you would like a free video titled Living an Intuitively Inspired Life, you can visit the link kimberlylbarrett.com/intuitive life. I'm also currently offering 20% off all coaching, readings, healings, and the Blue Star Energy Activation Package to all my Sharing Love and Light listeners, out of gratitude for all of you that listen to me. So use the code, it's 20%, spell out PERCENT, so 20%. And let's get back to talking about manifestation. So I was talking earlier about how these things started manifesting in my life. And it was sort of like looking back on it, I realized and recognized that I had followed exactly what this woman had suggested in her book. And years later, it was like, oh, wow, here's the actual results from having done that. And then fast forward, I had that major healing done, and you don't have to have a major healing done to have this happen. However, I had learned prior to the healing I had done, I had been introduced to intuition, to recognizing that I was a psychic medium and starting to wake up to those things. If you're starting to wake up, please check out my website. It might be helpful to you. So I started waking up, and I really started discovering, because I had set an intention. We also talked about intention on here. One of the things that Law of Attraction and Abraham Hicks talks about is setting a deliberate intention and start to deliberately manifest in your life. So that's the direction that my guides are trying to get us to go in. They're like, here we go. That's the direction we want to go in. Is when you're manifesting, you're constantly manifesting. That's what we do as energy beings on this planet. We are infinite, unlimited energy projecting out into an infinite, unlimited environment. What happens with us is that we are manifesting based on sort of like conscious, unconscious, and, subconscious kind of programming. So we're all creating and co-creating with each other out in the world. And we are meant to be what Abraham Hicks calls like the cutting edge, the leading edge, kind of creating in this sort of like energy playground that we're in. And yet many of us have forgotten that or been basically taught out of it in many ways. And there's no guilt, shame, or blame around any of this. Guilt, shame, and blame are just lower frequencies. That's all it is. It's just a frequency vibration that you can be in. Really, the truth is, and they're bringing in through some truths that I'm just going to share openly that come through the guidance that comes through me. We are infinite, unlimited energy projecting out into an infinite, unlimited environment. Try breathing through that and feeling what that feels like. Like just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you're driving, you might want to do this a little bit later. Don't do any of the visualizations, just do the breathing. Focus on your driving, in other words. So you're breathing in, breathing out, and really recognizing that you are pure energy. Our thoughts, which create how we feel, is what's creating the world that we live in. And we are all co-creating this world together. And so just let that sink in for a minute. Some of you might be like, oh, this is a crazy lady. Feel free to turn me off if this turns you off. If this resonates with you, then keep listening, because this is the stuff that helped me to wake up, to discover that we are these pure energy beings. And it's something that Abraham Hicks teaches. It is what Shakti Gawain was beginning to teach, that we start to wake up and become more and more conscious. And I know that there have been a lot of other movies and different things like that. There's a ton of resources out there about manifestation. One of the things that came to me that I did want to talk about, one was, what is manifesting and what are the little tricks to the trade? Well, it's really about your well-being and how you feel inside. And what a lot of people don't realize is something I've been teaching a lot when I come on here, which is, and it's sort of like basic cognitive behavioral therapy, honestly, is that your thoughts create how you feel. If I'm in a thought that is creating something that is, if I'm in certain thoughts that create anger, then I'm going to feel angry. If I feel threatened, if I have thoughts that are, you are threatening me, then I'm going to feel maybe angry about that, or you're threatening something. If I'm having thoughts that I'm hopeless and I'm not enough and I'm not good enough, then I'm going to be going into more of a depression state. And so what Abraham Hicks talks about is that our feelings, how we feel, is really a guidepost to see where our like everyday thinking really is. It's like, what kind of thinking are you living in? And then to be able to start to shift that. And it's not just our thinking. What I learned when I first started getting better and I went into a program that was helping me, was that I can also get into action and do things that get me out of all that negative thinking. I can do something that can get my mind on something else instead of all that negative thinking. So I'm going to find my way back to the topic. I've been talking about manifesting. And so one of the things that we do is that we're going to ask, and what my guides are guiding me with, and what Abraham Hicks talks about, a lot of the other people that talk about manifesting, is automatically that is now ready for you. It's sort of like your higher self is becoming that, like your energy wants to become that. And now you need to get you lined up with that. So whatever it is you are wanting, you now need to get lined up with. And I think that's the tricky part for people, is that, an example is, I want a relationship in my life. And then I keep thinking about how I don't have a relationship. So notice how my thoughts are not in alignment with having a relationship. I need to get my thoughts in a better alignment and get my energy in a better alignment. And sometimes I have to ditch that particular topic completely. And this is the magic of law of attraction, is if I want to feel a certain way, then I can go with the feeling rather than trying to find the thoughts. And I know that might sound a little weird to people. So basically, when you are wanting something or you need something, most people, it's because you want to feel well-being in having it. That's why you want it, is because you want to feel the well-being of having it. And so one of the little tricks with manifesting is working your way into feeling well-being, whether it's that topic or not, that you can get to that place of well-being by thinking about other things. And so, if thinking about the relationship gets you too negative, then instead think about well-being. You can set your intention to, have a great day, and then focus on things that you can be grateful for, things that you appreciate. And it's sort of like if I've put, and Abraham Hicks calls it putting it into your vortex. If I've put that relationship into my vortex, then I want to remain open and allowing. And I think that's the part that I talk to people about a lot is, I have people that come to me and they're like, how come it's not manifesting and it's not working? And in my own life, there's certain places where I can get really tripped up here, you guys. I think I'm still a little tripped up in some of them, is that I'm not allowing it. I'm in a place where I am not in alignment with what it is I'm asking for. And so in manifestation techniques, what they're teaching is how to get into alignment. One of the first things I learned was to really, this was channeled through me often when I would do readings on people, is stop asking how and when. Because if you're trying to figure out how and when, you're going to be in the vibration of lack and the not having it. And so instead, the challenge is getting into that vibration of feeling the well-being of what it would feel like to have it. And an example I had was I had this really, really old car and I wanted a new one. And what I did was every time I got in my old car, instead of focusing on the old car and the nerves and the anxiety and all that kind of stuff, what I did was I shifted my focus to what it would feel like actually driving that new car. And I practiced other manifesting techniques where I would feel what it feels like that I already have that new car, the well-being that comes from having a brand new car. And then as I move forward in life, I talk about living that intuitively inspired life. I followed my intuition and I looked for, and I tried to keep myself in alignment with what it feels like and what it would be like to already have that car in place. And so we can do that with just about anything in our life. We are going to take another short break. We're going to start opening the phone lines up for my callers. That number is 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. It is time for another short break. When we return, we'll keep talking about that topic of manifestation. So if you do have a question and you want to call in, we can talk about manifestation a little bit more with each other. Feel free to pick up the line. If not, I will keep sharing on this topic. So we'll see you soon. Welcome back. You're listening to the Sharing Love and Light show with me, Kimberly Barrett. If you are watching this on Facebook Live or YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment to let me know you are here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Before we get back to our topic of manifestation, as per always, I want to make sure you know how to contact me. I can be reached through my website, sharingloveandlightshow.com. If you would like a free video titled Living an Intuitively Inspired Life, you can visit the link kimberlylbarrett.com/intuitive-life. I'm currently offering 20% off coaching, readings, healings, and Blue Star Energy activation package to all my Sharing Love and Light listeners. Use the code 20%, that's 20, and spell out PERCENT. So I've been talking about manifestation, and I'm so grateful that I have my friend here that helps me with the show, because I realized one of the things, and just to remind everyone, I know I'm interrupting myself now. Just to remind everyone, we have the line open to take questions from callers. So if you have any questions about this topic or you want to chat about something with it, feel free to give me a call. It's 1-800-930-2819. That's for my live, the people that are listening live or watching on Facebook Live. You can feel free to give us a call, 1-800-930-2819, if you want to call in. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and keep talking about manifesting. And one of the things that was really profound for me, I had discovered these CDs that were talking about manifesting, and they were like these bootleg CDs that someone had sent me. And the guy that was talking on there had been a part of some of the groups of people that had all the secrets, that held all of the manifesting secrets. And he had broken away from them and had done this major workshop to help people be able to manifest in their lives, and wanted to give away the secrets. And one of the things he talked about that a lot of us don't think about when we're manifesting is our belief. Am I in 100% belief that that could actually happen? Because if I'm not in 100% belief of that, then it's probably not going to manifest for me. So that's something I can work on, is watching my thoughts. And for some of us, if you go see an energy healer or an energy clearer, there are other people out there. I know Brian Ridgway does a lot of work on what he calls spell casting or spell breaking. Helena Prana was on here talking about clearing out those subconscious beliefs so that you can actually break through those barriers that seem like they're there, right? It's because the subconscious and the unconscious programming is telling you you can't have it somehow. And I have a lot of examples of that. I lived my life in a certain way for a long time, and I thought that I couldn't have certain things. One of them is I'm living alone in my own apartment that I pay for myself. And for a very long time, I rented a room from people. That's all I could pull off. And I'm very proud of that. I'm a transient person, so I have not purchased my own house. I would have by now, except that I prefer to be able to move around often. So I'm here looking at a manifestation that until I got to the place where I actually believed that this could potentially happen for me, I had to work my way toward that belief. Sometimes I have to go neutral with it. And neutral is my favorite one. I suggest this when I'm coaching, is listening to Rampages by Abraham Hicks about things are always working out for me. If I look and see, I can see that things are working out for me. And even if it doesn't look like right now things are working out for me, things are actually working out for me. So some of the tripping places with manifesting is when you have put it out there in the energy and it's getting ready to come in and you're not seeing it yet. And that's the place where we really need to work on a lot of the manifestation techniques. If you're out there attempting to manifest, sometimes we might fall back into that old programming and we're thinking those thoughts more often than we are the new thoughts. Then it's not going to come into manifestation. If I'm focusing on how it is, I caught myself doing that today, by the way. If I'm spending all my time focusing on how it is, then I'm not going to get what I'm asking for. I need to be focused on, in a positive way, this thing that I've asked for, that I know that it's coming. I know that it's already here. Even I can feel what it feels like to have it. So one of the things I didn't mention as I'm talking is the law of attraction. What is the law of attraction really? And I love to dumb it down. The law of attraction is basically like seeks like, in our universe. So if you are thinking negatively, you're going to attract negativity. If you're thinking positively, you're going to attract positivity. If you're in an energy vibration that is in a frequency of anger, then that's what you're going to attract in your life. If you're in an energy vibration of knowing that everything's safe and that, you're taken care of and that you can take care of yourself, then that's what you're attracting into your life. That goes back to really checking into your beliefs and your core beliefs. And what I love about Abraham Hicks is they say, a belief is actually a thought you think often. So some of our beliefs we can actually shift and change. And nowadays in this new energy, there's even energy healers that are like, hey, you don't even have to practice 1,000 times changing that belief. Do this energy healing and it'll just shift it for you. So if you're into energy work, that's a quick, sort of like in the coaching world, they call it a hack, a quick, way to clear that out. But if you do know what it is, one of the things I did is I went from the story of lack. So there's no way that I could afford an apartment on my own by myself with, 2 cat rents, right? And all that type of stuff. What I did was I started practicing shifting the way that I think about things. And then I also shifted my vibration. And I've talked about that, like raising your vibration in any way possible. When I'm in a higher vibration, I bring better things into my life. I was just reading a book by Osha called The Book of Secrets, and it talks about coming into ourselves and really finding our center and becoming who we really are. That's a totally different topic. At the same time, that's a lot. It's actually not a different topic, is the message that's coming back through. So I do this, you guys. I go rewind, erase, delete. I stand corrected on that. The message that's coming through me from my higher self and from my guides that are channeling through me right now is that is what you're essentially attempting to do, is to really come into who you really are, and vibrationally and in your frequency come into who you really are. And who you really are is light and love. But to get there, I need to incrementally work my way up into better vibrations. If I'm depressed, I can't go straight to happy. That is like next to impossible. I've worked with people in mental health, and you can't go from depressed to happy. However, I have taught people in a mental health program how to incrementally work their way up. And then by the end of 2 months, they're doing much better. They're in a much higher vibration, in a much higher place. And then their life starts changing. Things in their life start changing. So with law of attraction, like speaks to like. And so if you're vibrating in a certain frequency, then that's what you're attracting into your life. And what they do is they give a lot of suggestions and ideas and ways of doing things to get your vibration in alignment with what you really want in your life. So not necessarily what anyone else wants, which makes me think about a quick story that, this soccer player, and unfortunately, I don't know his name, on Facebook, was being given a hard time because he was making like millions and he had this cracked iPhone. And basically he said, because material things don't matter to me, he uses all of the money that he makes to give to others and to help others. And he comes from a different culture than a place where it's like, and there's nothing against, and I can hear some of my coaching friends, there's nothing against, if alignment for you is to have a Lamborghini, then that's your alignment. Align with a Lamborghini. Not everyone is in alignment with wanting the BMW or the big house or something like that. I know for me, I prefer, a little white cottage near the beach is enough for me. I don't need more than that. So it's really aligning with what you want in your life. And then getting in alignment is lining yourself up with the vibration and frequency of that thing that you're really wanting. And a lot of times, if we really pause, come into the moment and notice where our thoughts are, we can see where we're creating what we don't want instead of what we want, right? And what I love about Abraham Hicks is they're like, and don't beat yourself up for that, because that's your contrast. So now you've birthed what you want in your life. And now the practice, the work that we do in manifestation and law of attraction is working our way toward actually manifesting. Remember, to manifest is to bring it into realization and actualization where I can actually see it in my life. So we have just a minute left before we take another break. I want to remind everyone that if you're listening and you get the urge, you can feel free to call in. I am taking questions from callers. It's 1-800-930-2819. You can also send me comments through my Transformation Talk Radio host page if you do have questions that you want to send me later on, or send comments about the topic. So we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back soon. Welcome back, beautiful lights. You're listening to the Sharing Love and Light show with me, Kimberly Barrett. If you're watching this on Facebook Live or YouTube, please feel free to type in a comment to let me know you were here, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Before we get back to our topic of manifestation, I want to make sure you know how to contact me. I can be reached through my website, sharingloveandlightshow.com. If you would like a free video titled Living an Intuitively Inspired Life, you can visit the link kimberlylbarrett.com/intuitive life. I am currently offering 20% off coaching, readings, healings, and Blue Star Energy activation packages to all my Sharing Love and Light listeners. Use the code 20%. If you would like, I am taking callers. It's 1-800-930-2819. If you have a question about the topic of manifestation and want to call in. Also, if you are listening or watching on Facebook Live and you want to put in a comment, my friend Jacob here can let me know that you do have a question that you would like answered. So I am going to get back to seeing if I can wrap up some of the stuff that my guides have been channeling in. They want me to talk about, I was a couple of stories, unless you guys call in, I'm going to give a couple of brief stories of manifestation and then wrap it up. So one of them was, I decided that I wanted to leave the job I was in. It was not a fit for me anymore. I wanted to also manifest a job where I could really be around people that really fit me a lot more than the people I was currently around. And what I did was I practiced all these manifestation techniques. So like I was talking about check out creative visualization and Ask and It Is Given. Also, Neville Goddard has a lot of really great books. One is called Feeling is the Secret. The other is The Power of Awareness. He has a ton of other books. Neville Goddard is one of those people that is known worldwide as just being a genius around this topic. So those are my suggestions of reading materials. What I did was I would sit in meditation just briefly, not for a long time, and I would feel what it felt like to be in a new career. I didn't really give it a big picture. I wanted to keep it general, which I've learned if you're too specific, you might miss out on that thing that you really want, right? You want to be in alignment with what is for you. And so energetically, at least that's my opinion. So to be in alignment with what is for you. And what happened was along the way, I had to release my fears. So just so you know that along the way, you can have fears or you can notice your limiting beliefs, and there's different things that you can do to sort of release that stuff and really work on staying in alignment and staying in that place where you're allowing these things to unfold. Then I'm looking for synchronicities. I was really amazed. I don't even remember how it came about. I found this position. And when I was interviewing, I heard the woman say, yeah, we just had this intuition to create this particular position. And I could feel it and sense it that we were co-creating that position for me. And it was such a great position at the time. It was a social work position on an inpatient hospice. And it turned out, I've told people in my story that I'm an energy worker and those type of things. It was a hospice unit that had doctors that were all Reiki practitioners as well. They were medical doctors and they did Reiki. And it was so amazing. And we used to call ourselves like the dream team, and you would be amazed at how many people out in the world are very open to allowing Reiki or to anyone that's a medium when they're getting help, that there are a lot of people out there that are very open to that. So I was very blessed to work with these people. Most of them were practicing a lot of the law of attraction stuff. So it was a pretty high vibration team that I worked on. I just felt really good and I manifested that. And I had to practice these techniques along the way with like facing my fears and releasing them, working on staying in my higher vibration. I think the 3 things that my friend was given from her coach, and I'll offer them with you all. These are the 3 things that were given that I practice even today. Number 1, take care of yourself fiercely. So you do what you can to take care of yourself fiercely. Number 2 is to have as much fun as possible. You want to get in your high vibration. So find ways to have fun. And then number 3 is to make peace with where you are. And I remember my friend giving me that she'd gotten from her coach. And she said, and the toughest one is making peace with where you are. Because you want to, when I'm not making peace with where I am and I'm complaining and I'm fussing and I'm having a hard time, and in my mind even that I'm not at peace with where I am not in the vibration of the thing that I'm wanting. I'm like pushing it away. So those are some of the things that I've learned that I wanted to offer to my listeners, are like these little things that I've learned about manifesting. So I've manifested all kinds of things. I manifested moving from from Baltimore to Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm cracking myself up. From Baltimore to Knoxville, Tennessee. And I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. I was following what Abraham Hicks talks about. And it all fell into place. And it was almost like magic how it all fell into place. And I found myself in Knoxville. You guys, I moved into an apartment in Knoxville on Maryland unemployment. How does that happen? And it's because I was practicing these techniques and it was meant to be. And I ended up finding a job and I ended up meeting Hope Renault, who I interviewed on the Dr. Pat show recently as a result of that job. So there's just a lot of things I've been able to manifest in my life. One of the big things that I've done is, when you're manifesting, you want to clear out negativities as well. I remember Dr. Wayne Dyer. Some of you might know him. He also talks a lot about manifesting. It's Dr. Wayne Dyer. And he talked about if you have resentments, that's going to block your ability to manifest. So I started clearing out resentments. I started, asking to have fear removed. We're going to have fear. I had fear before I came on tonight. I told Jacob that before I started talking, but I do it anyway. Courage is fear that does it anyway, right? So I came on anyway, and I said, all right, guides, we're going to do this. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. We've been talking about manifestation. It's law of attraction. I've given some really great suggestions on books that you can start with. Start manifesting the life you want. And when you feel like it's not happening, go back into these books and remember that it's something in me that's not in alignment with me. It's not in alignment with that thing that I'm asking for. And that what I want to do is consciously, on purpose, get into alignment with it. So with that said, I'm going to be doing a lot of that this week now that I've shared that with you all. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out and ask questions. Like I said, you can also reach me on my website. It's sharingloveandlightshow.com. Remember that love is not a verb. It's actually a state of being. It's an energy we can tap into and a level of consciousness we can move into. Join me every first and third Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio for sharing love and light, vibration, and consciousness on the planet. I love you all, and I look forward to sharing more love and light with you soon. Thanks for tuning in to the Sharing Love and Light Show, Vibration and Consciousness on the Planet, with me, Kimberly Barrett. Remember, love is not a verb, it is a state of mind. You've spent the last hour experiencing love and light and tapping into the quantum energy that already exists in you. But the journey doesn't stop here. Tune in every first and third Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio, as we continue exploring the energetic shifts happening in and around us. With love and light, see you next time.